Alright everybody, so from my past videos where I've shown how to get music on an iPod by simply dragging and dropping the files from iTunes into the iPod, that's not really what people are searching for apparently when they're, looking up YouTube videos of how to get music onto an iPod. See, the big thing, and obviously you're just seeing iTunes here on my screen right now, but the big thing that a lot of people, especially of a newer generation when they get an iPod, didn't go through the times where we would have to actually get our music onto the computer through CDs and such like that. So what I've been seeing a lot of is people using things like YouTube downloaders to download songs, and then from there they're converting them to MP3s and putting them onto iTunes. So you see a lot of cases where people will have their, library just kind of looking like YouTube tracks with a bunch of words and stuff like that from the YouTube video. But what I wanted to show today is how I actually import music to my computer, and then from there I'm able to put it onto iTunes. So I have a CD here in front of me. This is the very best of Pat Benatar. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up my computer here so I can get to the CD drive. Now the thing is, I know a lot of people don't have CD drives anymore. I mean, unfortunately, almost every single laptop nowadays that I've seen does not have a CD drive anymore. So how do you do it? Well, you can buy an external CD drive on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for 15 bucks. And you can use that, and it will work with Mac or PC. And that's where you're gonna go about. So a lot of these CDs have been CDs that I've had, from from back in the day. But if you're looking to get actual CDs nowadays, you can go on Amazon, you can go on Best Buy, you can go Walmart, you go anywhere to buy CDs at full price. Or what I like to do is go to thrift stores like Goodwill and such, and a majority of the time I should say, I find a lot of CDs there that people have donated, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. Are you gonna find the newest and latest artists? No. For that, you have to go out and buy the full CD, or you can purchase the CD through iTunes, meaning the album through iTunes, and have the digital copies. You can go through Amazon MP3 and buy the digital copies that way. Also note that sometimes when you buy a CD on Amazon, there will be a MP3 version you could download with it. That's not always the case, but you can look out for those. So here, as you can see, I have put my CD into my DVD drive on my computer, and now the album is showing up on iTunes. So because I've already imported this, at least I think I have, you just merely go to import CD, and you leave this stuff on the screen, which for some reason is not showing for you guys. Let me go ahead and make sure it does. Okay, so as you can see here, you have your options. This you just leave as is. There's no reason to move any of this stuff. You can if you want, but just leave it at iTunes Plus, leave it at AAC encoder. And then from there you just hit OK. Now it's going to go through the process of importing this CD onto your computer, as you can see up on the top, and it's going to go track by track. So for anyone that's new with iPods, this is the best method to get full albums onto your iPod. I would avoid going the YouTube route unless it's very specific things you're trying to put on there, but when you're converting from a YouTube video, you're losing a lot of the audio quality, so you're not really getting the best sound that you can. And the iPods are really good MP3 players, so you want to give them the best sound that you can. So I would avoid YouTube downloaders and stuff like that you use to get some of these songs. I know, having to pay for music is not always fun, but you can use stuff like Bandcamp. There's sometimes artists that give their music away for free on there if you follow artists on there. But yeah, your best options are going to be going and actually getting CDs, physical CDs from thrift stores, or look for your local vinyl record shop. A lot of times they have a bunch of CDs there too, And most of the time they're looking to just get rid of them because honestly, they know that people aren't really buying CDs right now, so they tend to mark them down a lot. So the couple vinyl record shops that I've gone to, their CDs are usually priced like $2 to $5. Again, because in their eyes, it's a dying format. But it's always nice to have a CD with you on hand, you know, in case you end up buying a CD player or, you know, want to use it for home use or something like that. But you can do that if you don't want to have to worry about physical media, which I would still say I recommend because that is a physical copy of an artist's music that you will now have. Whenever you buy things on iTunes, you're buying a license to use that music. You're not actually purchasing the music. You're just buying a license for it. So unfortunately, with things like iTunes or Amazon, if at any point they feel like, hey, we don't want to support this artist or something, they could just get rid of the music and potentially even void your license. They have the right to do that because, again, you're buying a license from them. You're not buying the actual tracks. So if you can, go the route of buying actual CDs. Like I said, get yourself an external USB DVD drive on Amazon. They're super cheap nowadays. And as you can see here, the album has been imported. All the green marks here on the left. So now we can go over to music under recently added. And as you can see here, we have the album now showing up on iTunes. It's under recently added, but if you go to artists, you'll be able to find it there as well. So now from here, I've shown before, all you need to do is drag and drop. Yep, you can do one song at a time. Say you don't want every song on the album. Or you can just highlight all of them, clicking on this one, whoops, and then shift, and then you highlight all of them and you can import all of them at once. Now, a lot of the times you're not gonna get album artwork like this. It automatically imported the album artwork, but sometimes there's some albums that just won't show anything, or you're just gonna get something that says track 01, track 02, nothing under artist name, nothing under album. As you can see here, it doesn't even show the album artwork on here. So for that, there's different things you can do. Sometimes you can click on show album artwork or import album artwork, and it'll try its best to do it. But if it doesn't recognize the music or the artist, and it's not in Apple's library of music, your best option from there is going to be to go to Google, look up the track list, and then you're going to want to go through and do song info and rename. Let me show this again because for some reason OBS is bad at this. Okay, so as you can see, you can click on song info, and from here you can edit everything about the music. Obviously it did a great job here of listing everything. And yeah, and then you can do that and then just import it with all the names, or import it as track 01, and then once it's on your library, you can go and rename them there. But this is gonna be the best way, guys, to do this. And you know, here I have a folder on my, let me get rid of this. Here I have my folder of music that I have on my computer that I've already had over the years, and imports of CDs and everything show up on here. So from here, you can, you know, go to these, and if they're not already in iTunes, which they are, you can just drag them right into your iTunes music library and they'll appear on here. So yeah, that's really it. I wish I had a better option for you guys on how to get music. But yeah, if you really want to get the music and have the best quality version of it, CDs are gonna be your option. Like I said, yes, you can go to the iTunes store and you can buy albums. A lot of times they have $4.99 deals. You can scroll down. Yeah, so you can see here, rock hits, country hits. There's $6.99 for the albums. So you can go through and get that. No, you cannot put music that is from your Apple Music, meaning your Apple Music subscription, onto your iPod. It's just not possible, because if you try to put that music on an iPod, Apple has no way of later verifying that that music is still on a subscription on the iPod, since the iPod doesn't have any internet. So you just can't. So any Apple Music playlist you created where there's songs that you don't own, you can't put on an iPod. You just can't. You have to buy the actual albums. Or tracks if you just want one of their songs. And for the most part, I mean, the tracks are usually 99 cents. Sometimes they're 129, as you can see here, because these are the hits. But yeah, just look for deals, guys. Look for deals on albums. Like I said, you can go, let's check out Rock Hits real quick, see what they have on there. Yeah, so, you know, a lot of good stuff here. You got Seosin on here. Carlos Santana. Amberlin, this is a great album, by the way. If you've never heard of Amberlin, I definitely recommend you check them out, because that is a really great band and a really great album. But yeah, $6.99 for that album, and it's an incredible album. Definitely recommend you buy that, or look for the CD if you have it. But yeah, guys, so that's just it. Like I said, again, I wish I really had more of a, hey, this is how you're gonna get music without paying any money. That's not really what I want in a showcase here, because obviously there are methods that people will use to get music. Bob's your uncle, do your thing. That's how you're gonna do things, that's fine. But go to your local thrift shops, go to your local vinyl record shops, support them, and go buy CDs from them. And you have these physical copies of these albums and these little booklets that will have all the lyrics on them. It's a different experience entirely when you're actually getting these albums. So that's gonna do it for the video. I know it's just kind of more of a, here's a screen with iTunes and showing you stuff, but really it's just the way that it is. You know, whenever I'm looking to get new music on my iPod, that's what I'm gonna do. And you know what? I don't know if I had imported that Pat Benatar CD, but let's find out. So I'm gonna highlight all these and I'm gonna drag them to my iPod. Okay, looks like they weren't on there. So I just went ahead and added this album that I just imported from a CD to my computer, into iTunes, and then into my iPod. And now it's gonna be on my iPod whenever I want it to listen to on the iPod. Let's scroll down to P. Yep, and there it is. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. And whenever you need to check the storage on how much you have left on your iPod, you can see down here. One final thing that I'll go ahead and mention, as you can see here where it says manually manage music and videos, you want this to be checked. If this is not checked, you will not be able to manually drag songs to the iPod. What it'll do instead, it'll try and sync your music library, and that's just a whole mess. So manually manage music, choose that option so that you can do what I just did by dragging and dropping songs directly to the iPod. Anyways, guys, I know I've said it multiple times, but yes, that's it for the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I also have a membership option if you want to join for $2.99 a month. You're going to get special features and perks like special custom emojis and a cool loyalty badge next to your name whenever you leave comments. So I would appreciate any support in that way that you can. I'm here because this is what I love to do, so I'm going to keep doing it no matter what. But if you want to help support the channel, subscribing, liking, commenting on this video, or joining my membership for $2.99 a month would be awesome. I appreciate everyone. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.